You know what? No, I've never met him. Shut up. You know what? Even though Seattle lost, I'm really happy for their fans. Yeah? Yeah, like I know they've been around a few years now, but from the moment it was announced, I was happy for the city of Seattle. That's nice of you, man. Me too. It's the only thing I thought about. I bet. I wasn't thinking, oh great, another West Coast opponent to play 10 p.m. games against or nothing. I wasn't thinking any of that. Of course not. Why would you? Why? What were you thinking? Yeah, same. Let's go! Do you have a humiliation kit? This is all I ask you to do. I'm having a great finger flick. You're allowed to show up. This team is ruining my life. I'm taking crazy pills. With you, wherever you are, welcome to LFR.
He doesn't look like he wants a trade. He looks like he wants me to leave him alone. So that's I'm gonna leave him alone.
Leafs win! 4-1. What do you mean it didn't count? 3-1 over the Seattle Kraken in a game that I'm willing to bet a lot of you didn't see. It was a 10 p.m. start time for Leafs fans in Toronto. And by the way, from anyone who's not here, when we say from Toronto, we mean like from the middle of Toronto and like probably an hour and a half in each direction. That's an hour and a half in each direction in like the middle of the night, not during rush hour, because that would just be Toronto! The only later game this season is in late March against the San Jose Sharks. That is at 10:30 at night! I'm tempted to fly to San Jose just so I don't have to stay up to watch a 10:30 p.m. local game. Wait, no, local to me, not them. Listen, it's like nearly 2 in the morning that I'm shooting this. Producer Drew, is not touching this thing till the morning. Like the actual morning, not the night morning. Because I'm not a monster! Now, I've been ranting about how late it is. Seattle Kraken fans, Olive Branch. Hey! That was a really poorly officiated game. A lot of the penalties in the game, those suck. That high stick no goal that was apparently just a goal, don't get it. The Matthews penalty at the end of the game that gave Seattle a 6-on-4, not a thing. In every which direction, it was pretty bad. Hey, I'm happy my team won. You know, that was cool. I like that. Yeah, no, that was pretty bad. Anyway, let's talk about what happened in the game. Hey, you know who doesn't get a lot of goals from their decor? The Leafs. But hey, you know who was back in the lineup tonight after a few games off? Philip Myers. You know who's got a good shot and actually has a reputation for generating a lot of offense? Philip Myers. You know who hasn't scored in like 3 calendar years? Philip Myers. But you know who scored the first goal of this game? Philip Myers! My voice did a thing there. He bombs the thing on net. It deflects off a Kraken defender and goes in. Grab it, wrap it up, put some tape on it. That is Philip Myers' first goal of the season and first goal as a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Leafs are up 1-0. At the other end of the ice for the rest of the first period, the Kraken actually did get a few real good chances. None of them went in because of Stoley the goalie! When they said Anthony Stolarz was back for his first game since December 12th, I didn't realize Stolarz had been out nearly 2 months. And I also didn't realize how much I missed him. Like, not to skip ahead to the questions portion of this video, but I loved this one. Natalie says, I can't remember the last time I felt that calm at the end of a game like this one. Was it the Stolarz weighted blanket, a newfound team confidence, or just the fact that it's nearly 1 a.m.? Oh, I'm sure it's all of that. No, listen, it's nearly 1 a.m. I think the team did play pretty confidently in front of Anthony Stolarz. And 3, Seattle can't really score. I don't think they're a bad team. They have a really good starting goaltender. Don't ask about anyone who's not the starting goaltender. They struggle a little bit to score. Like, I saw that Tolvanen shot and I'm like, dude, do they play you half an hour a game? They should. Once their younger offensive weapons sort of mature a little bit and grow up in the league, I think Seattle's going to be a wagon, but they're just not there yet. Now, before the first period is done, part of the reason I'm not going to complain too outrageously about the officiating, just wait for later, is because the Leafs got a double minor power play. Chandler Stevenson goes to the box. What happens? Well, just over a minute to go. Morgan Rielly puts it on, and Bobby McMann, lasers firing from everywhere, tips it in his 17th of the season. Dude, wasn't this guy a healthy scratch like the first week? With 17 goals in 46 games so far this season, Bobby McMann is scoring at exactly a 30-goal pace. I was about to say, dude, around this time last year, Bobby McMahon was struggling to find his spot in the lineup. Dude, he was struggling to find a spot in the lineup at a camp. I said it before, I'll say it again. First year of a $1.35 million per year contract. Brat! You gem. So the Leafs head into first intermission with a 2-0 lead. And that's a tough place for Seattle to be. If Anthony Stolarz is back, and is Anthony Stolarz the one that we remember, the one who was one of the best goalies in the entire league when he went down with injury 2 months into the season, and you're Seattle, you're going to have a tough time here. Home ice or not, this is not going to be enjoyable. Now, thank goodness Stolarz looked exactly the way he did when he left off, because the Leafs really did let the Kraken back into this game. Generally speaking, I think the Leafs were the better team most of the night. Ooh boy, there were chunks of that second period that were not great. What I did love though is this game was a perfect encapsulation of what I have said about the Leafs goaltending tandem for a while. There is Joseph Woll, steady as a rock, athletic, cookie cutter positionally. He is the American hockey program to a T. I have my head up, I track the puck, I do that weird little shimmy thing, or the bigger one that goalies do where you ha-cha, ha-cha, whatever that is, whatever you call that, the ha-cha, you know, cookie cutter. Joseph Woll plays goalie the way they teach kids to play goalie. And then there's Anthony Stolarz, who is big, is athletic, is positionally sound, but he's also kind of like, I think the game plan is just be huge and flail around. And he does, and it's so fun. And I've never seen a goalie that chaotic also make me feel that calm. Which is weird because the way Seattle's playing, if they make it 2-1 here, oh boy, this is going to be a problem because the Leafs will let them back into the game. And bizarrely, the final nail in the coffin comes about halfway through the second period in the form of a Leafs goal that probably shouldn't have counted. Jake McCabe puts the puck on. Matthew Knies is in front doing Matthew Knies things. It's very fun. We like that. Matthew Knies gets a piece of the puck, and it's way up high. Now, his stick was way up high. He does bring it down. It's still pretty high. Then the team, quote unquote, celebrates. It wasn't a celebration as much as it was 5 men gathering and being like, was that a high stick? And then Matthew Knies, the guy who very obviously scored the goal, goes, maybe. And when he goes to lead the little fist bump high five in lineup that you do after you score a goal, they decide, actually, who shot that? Jake? Jake, why don't you go? They just got to put on this charade of Jake McCabe going, yep, hey, congratulate me on that goal I scored. That he knows they didn't score. 22 does not look enough like 23 for you to be acting like that, Jake. But then they review it with the call on the ice being that that's a goal. That's okay. These days, there's so many cameras, the call on the ice barely matters. Yeah, it's the tiebreaker, but when is it ever really the tiebreaker? Here, because the good goal. And every Leaf fan at the same time said, what? Now, okay, here's what's weird. They showed 2 replays. That's it. Unless there was one that, like, I forgot about or something. They had the overhead, which shows you nothing. You sort of see the puck hit the stick. You have no way of judging how high the stick is. And then there's the behind the net cam, which, I mean, I thought showed pretty conclusively that the stick was high. But then there's usually a camera that shoots down. It's like from center ice almost. It's obviously not from center ice, but that's how it looks, the perspective. It shoots down basically across from the behind the net cam. At least in my experience, that is the camera we usually get for, oh yeah, no, that's a high stick, or oh no, that's a good goal. I didn't see that. Seattle has a brand new arena. There's no way they simply don't have the angle, right? Listen, as a Leaf fan, I'm not complaining. Like, I don't get it, but I'm not complaining. I like this from Mike. When you get the answer you want, hang up the phone. That is rules to live by. Yes. Like Matthew Knies has to negotiate a contract this summer. Say he ends up with 32 goals. He's going to be like, well, I scored 32 goals. I feel like it's Brad Treliving's job to be like, 31. Yeah, but they counted it. We didn't. And when that goal counts, it's like I said, it's going to be real hard for Seattle to get back in this game. 2-0 is dangerously close to 2-1. 3-0. It's over. I want to give you an idea of how on an island Joey Daccord is on the Seattle Kraken at times. Eeli Tolvanen scores pretty early in the third to give Seattle a chance with an absolute laser beam rocket missile of a shot. He's only got 16 somehow. The primary assist goes to Oliver Bjorkstrand, who fought in this game, fought Simone Benoit. And I know what you're thinking. When was the last time Oliver Bjorkstrand fought? January, which means Oliver Bjorkstrand has more fights in 2025 than Ryan Reeves has all season. Yeah, I'm gonna let you digest that for a second. No, Bjorkstrand did not fight Matthew Olivier, but he did fight a guy who fought Matthew Olivier. He fought Dennis Gilbert of the Sabres. Anyway, no, Steve, you're getting bogged down. Joey Daccord had the other assist. So this is a 3-1 loss for Seattle, right? Here are the 3 goals that Joey Daccord allowed. Deflection, power play deflection, high stick that probably shouldn't have counted. Seattle managed to put up 1 goal, and he assisted on it! Joey! Get your passport, man! Joey Daccord should be representing Team Canada at the Four Nation Face-Off, and it will never not make me mad that he's not doing it. Dude, no offense, Sam Montembeault over the shoulder. Jordan Binnington over the other shoulder. It should be Aiden Hill, Logan Thompson, and Joey Daccord. That way, Canada's Thrandom could be a dude who basically doesn't lose in Logan Thompson, a dude who is usually the primary reason his team wins in Joey Daccord, and a guy who has been a starting goalie for a Stanley Cup winning team in Aiden Hill. Steve, isn't Jordan Binnington, a post-COVID starting goalie on a Stanley Cup winning team? Anyway, the Leafs are doing, generally, a pretty good job holding the fort here. Max Pacioretty takes a deep in the offensive zone penalty. Bit soft. The Leaf fans were like, all right, okay, that's fine. Well, I'm gonna bite my tongue on that. I know the high stick was weird, but okay. If this is the trade-off, I take it. The straw that broke the camel's back for me, Seattle is 6-on-5. And Austin Matthews gets into a puck battle with Brandon Montour. Matthews lifts his stick. Montour's stick, very important to note, not Matthews' stick, Montour's stick. Boom! Hits him in the face. And Montour goes, ah! And the refs call a penalty. And while he's in the penalty box, Austin Matthews makes this face, which suggests that this is funny to him in a very this is not funny to me way. Here's what's really annoying about that. You can't review every minor penalty. I understand that. That late in a tight game? Maybe you should be able to. Oh, Steve, you can't just go bending the rule. Okay, fine. You can't just review every penalty because then that'll slow the game down. Okay, but what if the team getting the power play takes a timeout? Which is what Seattle did. They took their timeout here, which was a good call. Why can't the officiating crew for that night take a look during the 30-second timeout and come to the same conclusion that everybody of both fan bases saw with their own 2 eyes at home on their television or on their phone or tablet because it's the future? That was not the right call. Why are you forced to deal with the wrong call? You have the time and resources to make the right one there. Why didn't you do it? Why don't they do it? Why is this sport so ridiculous? Anyway, that's the end of my rant on that, and the only reason it's the end of my rant on that is because they didn't score, which means the Leafs won 3-1. Winners of 3 straight on this West Coast road trip. Questions. I'm fading fast, you can tell. While it's fresh in our heads, does a player like Montour deserve a fine for embellishment when they clearly know it was their own stick? The call is from the flop, not the contact. Okay, so I've been an advocate for this for a long time. The NHL doesn't do anything about embellishment. Here's what it is. Your first 2 incidents of embellishment are warnings from the league. Number 3 is a $2,000 fine. The next fine gets bigger, the next fine gets bigger, and I want to say after the 4th or 5th fine, the coach gets fined too. I don't know the exact number offhand, but last time I checked, it was like half a dozen guys have been fined $2,000 this season. That's it. So either the league is full of players who have 1 or 2 warnings, or they're just not punishing players for this at all. Montour, I'm willing to, I was going to say willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. He knew what happened there. He knew. He also got hit in the face. I'm not mad at Montour on that one. I'm mad at them for getting the call wrong when they didn't have to. Do you think the Leafs need more 10 p.m. Eastern time games? I personally love them, being from Edmonton. Mike, I'm going to go to bed in 5 minutes, and when I do, I'm going to have a dream where I swear at you the whole time. So Let's wrap this up, huh? What do you say? Let's wrap this up, huh? Folks, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Brand new Steve Dangle podcast tomorrow and a stream on the SDPN YouTube channel on Saturday. We got the Leafs taking on the Canucks. The Canucks came to Toronto and shut the Leafs out. Can't let that happen again.